Welcome, everybody, to this afternoon's very special edition, I guess, of the show. I am Dave Stelma, and I have a very special guest with me this afternoon, Donna Hall Kater. And Donna, I've known Donna since, I guess, Train the Trainer or so, back in the day with Jack Canfield, or somewhere along the line in there. And then we finally got to meet a year ago at BTS in person. So without further ado, welcome, Donna.
Thanks, Dave. Good to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally got this coordinated, but I don't want to say it's on a particular subject. You've been kind of not hiding it. Should we say hiding it?
Hiding it. Only my close friends and family.
Yeah, for the last couple of months. And I think it's time to break this loose and pull the lid off of the top of the jar. And let's all hear what the news is. Tell us your story over the last couple of months.
Okay, so it actually started in March, I think. Yeah, it was in March. I went in for like a routine pap smear and it came back fine, but I started having like lots of pelvic pain. And I don't want to get too graphic with this, but I haven't had a period in a while, so I've been through menopause, and it was like I was a teenager again and I was having cramps. I thought, this is not good. So time went by and I went and saw a gynecologist and they did, some preliminary things, and it ended up I needed a hysterectomy, which happened last month. Yeah. And so what happened is they found a tumor in there. It was about the size of a golf ball, and it was malignant, and also it had grown through the side of the uterus, and there's still some cancer left in there, or at least there was during the surgery. So now I'm working on handling the rest of it. And I went to the regular oncologist and they said, well, you have a, maybe 30% chance of living if you do chemo at 5 years. I'm like, no, I don't agree with that. Mm-hmm. So, cause I want to live into my 90s. So that's what I'm focusing on. So then I started looking at alternatives, and, I was an acupuncturist and I was also a counselor. So I know there's a lot of different facets to when you get something like this, mm-hmm. and also different ways of treating it. And there's a lot of natural things out there. And unfortunately, my regular insurance doesn't pay for all of it. So that's fine. I'm figuring out ways of working with that. But, at the beginning, it was really shocking. When I got the news on the phone, it was like, what? This doesn't make any sense in my life. I eat a pretty good diet, and I have for a few years, and it just I was in shock and disbelief, and I thought, this really isn't happening. And so I had some time to spend by myself. My husband was busy and he wasn't immediately available, so I said, okay, I'm just going to sit with this. And I went out in my yard and I sat with my flowers and looked at the trees and swang on one of my swings and decided I would just breathe, because I know that when you're in shock, you've got to take a few deep breaths and just breathe through it. So I tried to not let my mind race too much, although it did start racing. And then I thought, okay, just calm down. And I was, did a lot of positive self-talk, and I decided that I would just approach this like I approach anything in life, with a good mental attitude, and really just figuring that this must be part of my spiritual curriculum to have this go on right now. Otherwise, I don't think it'd be happening, So there are things for me to learn from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we kind of reconnected. I was doing my morning meditation and you popped in there.
Yeah, just a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah, it was just a few days, this last weekend or so. And I was just like, okay, so you always just follow it. So I just messaged you and said, how are things going?
Yeah.
And then this all unveiled.
It did.
Tell me about this. And
yes.
Yeah. So how are you feeling now?
Well, I still have a little bit of pain, and much less than, right after I had the surgery. And, it's been, 6 or 7 weeks now, I think, since the surgery happened. And so I feel like I'm pretty much healed from the surgery part of it, but there's still some leftover. It's like things are kind of like settling in there about, okay, what's going to take up the space now that that thing is gone,
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, I was almost I was kind of in a grieving, when you lose something like that, that's so personal and so private to you, I really had to kind of grieve it, and not to be too graphic, but they did it robotically. So they put some instruments and lighting in through 5 little incisions in my upper abdomen, and they detached it, I guess you could say, from the wall in there, and then they brought it out, vaginally. So it was kind of like I was giving birth too. So I was like, it's kind of like, had to let go. I just had to let go and just nurture myself and be okay with letting go of that part of me. Never thought I would have to do that. So it was a little shocking, but that's, I just worked with myself on that, and I feel fine with it now. But it was a process, and that's, I kept it kind of close for the first, several weeks, and basically about 2 months. It's been about 2 months since I found out, and I just didn't feel like I really wanted to share too much about it. But now I feel like it's time that I start talking about it more, and also sharing how I'm approaching this. Sometimes people get cancer. They hear that word and they freak out, and their doctor tells them, you've got cancer, and here's the solution. You have the problem, and then here's the solution. The solution is you do the chemo that I'm recommending.
Mm-hmm.
And so I listened to that, and I didn't go into fear about it. I just decided, okay, inside myself, have the reaction that I want to have. I'm not going to just have a knee-jerk reaction, get scared and do whatever they say.
Right.
So I told the oncologist, I said, listen, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to look at maybe some alternatives. I've studied Eastern medicine, so I know there are other ways of treating things. She was not happy with me, but I said, I'll think about it. And I thought about it. I thought, well, I'm going to leave it on the table. And so that was a Friday. And so I left it on the table. I'm like, okay, I'm really going to look at this and also check inside with my inner knowing and my inner, basically check in with my soul and say, is this the right thing for me? And I woke up the next day, I think it was a Saturday, and I was like, 50-50. Am I going to do this or not? And then Sunday, it was down to about 25% yes and 75% no. And by Monday morning, I was like, that's not my path. But I did give it some time. I just didn't have a knee-jerk reaction the opposite way either. Just like, oh no, I'm not doing that. I was like, I'm going to consider everything that comes forward.
We have some people that are on board here.
Yay.
Houses are in the house.
Oh, Carolyn and Michelle. Hey guys.
Gord is here too. He's supporting us.
Hi.
Yeah, and he also says you look great.
Oh, thanks.
He didn't say anything about me, so I'm going to say that he thinks that I don't look great.
Well, I have to tell you, I started, after I got this diagnosis, I started the Gerson Therapy, which is lots of juicing and liver cleansing, and I've dropped probably 15 pounds just from that. Oh, hi, Lynette.
Yep, Lynette says hi.
Sending love to you too. Nice. Yeah, so that's one of the side benefits.
I'm gonna keep flashing. You're just too popular here. Gord wants to know what made you feel it was time to share your story versus back then when you didn't.
Well, I knew I was going to share at some point. Matter of fact, I've been taking notes. I thought, well, I'll write a book about this after I'm fully healed. When I'm done, I'll write the book, because I've written a couple books before. Yeah. And self-help books. And so my story will probably help other people. So I was just taking notes, and then it just came clear a few days ago that, you really need to tell my story more.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the thing that kicked it over the edge was because of the alternative treatments I'm doing. They're very expensive. And one of our best friends, Randy and Linda, they said, why don't you do a GoFundMe page, you know? And I thought, oh, I don't want to burden other people with what's going on with me. And they said, no, Donna, people will want to know what's going on with you, and they'll want to help if they can. And so they really encouraged me to do that. And so David put up a GoFundMe page, and so that's really what kicked me into doing it sooner, because of all the expense that's happening.
Yeah.
And so, and Randy and Linda were just like, you know, come on, Donna, we want to support you. We want you to live. And there's a lot of other people in your life also. So that's the truth. And then I sat with that for a few days, and I'm like, okay, I think it really is time, and talked to my sister, and she's like, yeah, Donna, it's time. So the other thing I haven't done yet, but I think I'm going to set up a private Facebook page where I go live sometimes and share what's going on and what treatments I'm doing, and people can join if they want to, you know. And I won't do it too much on my regular Facebook page. So, but if people want to join, then I can share more about what's going on, what I'm doing. So,
I would just have an open group.
You would?
Yeah, just have an open group page, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to find you. You know how those people find you. You know, it's like because they just resonate with that story, and they're pulled to it too. And you know, we have Ember and I have friends, Scott and Donna. And Scott, similar situation except for lung cancer. They found a lump in that, and the first oncologist that he met with just said, well, we're going to do, you know, we're going to operate, we're going to chemo, we're going to do radiation, and it's probably going to give you like 6 months. And he's like, what? That's the only option? It's like, yeah, that's the only option that we have. That's the only option you're going to find. And then luckily there's a group of us that are very, I don't want to say holistic, but there's other paths. There's not just one way of medicine. and he grasped on to look for another oncologist or another place to go, the UW with Wisconsin University Hospital, and went a total. He talked to him and said, hey, you know, I want to try some different, you know, some herbs, some different, you know, there's alternative medicine that's out there, holistic medicine. They said, absolutely. And found just the right person. And yes, they did chemo, they did radiation. In fact, he's at the hospital today. Same thing. But they found the right person then that said, yeah, we're going to do some of this, and then you're going to do this at the same time, and we're going to keep in contact, and we're going to record all of this. You know, and he's doing great. Yeah, I mean, as great as he can be right now. Yeah. So there's not just one way. That's I don't know if that's all over the world, but in the United States, it seems to be prevalent where the certain doctors, and there's good ones, there's great ones, and there's some not so good ones, and there's some that just have that ego of, this is the only way. I only know this way. And it's like, yeah, but there's alternatives that are out there. I like the people that let you make up your own decision. Yes, that's right. Well, and, you know, admittedly, a lot of the doctors have been trained in pharmaceuticals. So that's what they know. And the pharmaceutical companies can be kind of powerful out there and pushing their products. And some doctors make money off people doing chemo. Right. So, a lot of them, actually, that I found. Hi, Linda. You got the fans in the house. And your husband gave me a compliment. Gore did too. I look great too, I guess. They felt sorry for me. They're like, yeah, beautiful Donna's there, and we'll throw you a bone. Yeah. And it's just so they did the surgery. Have you done what have you done Eastern medicine wise? Well, I started getting acupuncture a couple times a week. Matter of fact, I'm seeing
my regular doctor's wife, who's about to graduate from acupuncture school. And I knew that. And so I thought, well, I'm going to go see her, and then she can talk with him. And he's actually very supportive. He eats plant-based like I do, which is awesome. He said, I can't endorse anything you're doing, but I just want you to let me know, Sure. So I've been in communication with him, and he's very supportive, and she is too. So I'm getting lots of Eastern medicine. I'm taking some herbs that are recommended. Part of it is healing from the surgery. Some of the herbs are giving her for that. And also I'm doing some reishi mushrooms, which is a Chinese medicine herb. And that shrinks the tumor and also builds your immune system. So I'm like, yeah, I need that, And then I have a couple of other mushroom things I'm taking. Chaga is one, and cordyceps is another one. Yeah. And
where did you go to learn about those?
Oh, the Pacific College of Oriental Medicine.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one in San Diego, one in Chicago, and one in New York City.
So you knew that beforehand?
I did, but then I also wanted to go and go to the clinic there, and I saw I saw Hilda, and then I also saw one of the supervisors that I'd known from before when I went to school there, 15 years ago. So that was kind of cool. And I just want to see what they had to say. And then I'm in agreement with that as well. So, yeah. So I'm doing those things. And then I started going to a center in Irvine, which is about an hour and a half north of here. I did some research on who I want to manage my case. And they have a really excellent reputation. And two of my friends have gone there. So I see Corinne. Hi, Corinne. Hello, Carla. Hi. So I've been going there, and I've started doing some treatments there, and they have really good diagnostics as well as treatment, and I do have an oncologist there, but she's an integrative oncologist. And so I've done some blood work called the RGCC test, which is a very interesting test. It goes to Greece, and they have a patent on this procedure. And what they do is they took my blood a couple weeks ago, and then they sent it over to Greece, I guess overnight or however fast it could get there, refrigerated. And then they extract the cancer cells. There's two types of cells in the blood: the cancer stem cells and also circulating tumor cells. They extract those, and then they culture them. So basically they grow them. I guess I'm just imagining a lot of little petri dishes. I don't know how they do it.
Right.
And then they apply 49 different natural substances to those cells and see which ones will do the trick. Basically have them go into what's called apoptosis, which is basically cell death. So there's 49 natural substances, including things like mistletoe and salicinium and vitamin C. And then there's also 49 different types of chemo agents that they apply to it and see what works from that. And so then when we'll get the results back, and then out of that, we're going to design a program where I do daily IVs for about 3 weeks, and then we test and see how it's doing. So, and I probably will have some chemo, but like at a 10-15% of the dosage that they were going to give me before. So, because they found that it does work, but it's it's a much lower dose.
So is every person's cancer cells unique? I mean, or do they just get these out and they go, hey, typically mistletoe is what will kill this one, or, I mean, are our cancer cells unique? I don't know enough about this. Well,
apparently they are, because when they get the results back, no two are alike. So everyone's are different. So it's really, from a scientific point of view, it's fascinating to me.
Corinne says, yay, mushrooms.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes. So, let me tell you some more about the treatment they're doing up there. So they did that test, the RGCC test. If you're interested, you guys, you can look it up. And So they did that, and then I also did some other blood work, and I have a little bit more to do. They want to look at allergies. So there's a test that's about $300 that they look at all kinds of food allergies. So that will tell me, if there's things I'm eating that I really shouldn't be eating that I'm allergic to. Yeah. And then they have this really cool treatment. It's a sonoelectric pulsation, and what they do is it's a machine that they have that pulses, and it's kind of loud, so you have to wear earplugs with it. And they do it kind of like a sonogram, so they put that stuff all over your belly, and they use this little wand thing, and they direct the pulsations of sound in, like for me, they're putting it into my pelvic area, and apparently it makes the cancer cells freak out. It's kind of like it shocks them. They go into,
I believe it,
shock and awe, I guess, and it makes them more susceptible to any type of agents that you're putting in there. So it'll make them more susceptible to, like, the mushrooms that I'm taking. It'll again make them go into apoptosis, which is cell death. So, hi Susan. So I'm doing that. I had 4 treatments of that. And so I've been going up every other day, and it's relatively new, but it's a machine that they've been using for a while to help people with kidney stones. So it breaks up kidney stones. So it's been used for about 40 years for that. And this is a new application of that. And so pretty exciting.
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, different sound frequencies will definitely alter brain waves. They alter, I had Dr. Paul Sheely on a few months ago, and with the paraliminals and all of that, and it definitely does make a difference. Gord wants to know, did you explore any stem cell therapy options, and are they even relevant to this?
They might be relevant. I have been looking at that, and
it's tough in the United States.
Yeah.
We'll just say that. At this point in time, it's just like everything. You've been around the block probably at least as long as I have, and I remember the days as a kid going to a chiropractor and the doctor going, "That doesn't do anything for you," and that's a simple thing. But now they're slowly opening up more and more. Of course, Gord gets to live up in Canada, so you probably wouldn't have the issue of money in that like we do here for things when this happens. But they're not quite as open in the United States as other countries are for healthcare. Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to mention about the RGCC test.
Yeah.
That I signed something when they sent it off, and they're going to keep some of the blood for later. So once I get through this whole process, they can create a vaccine for me that's particular that they'll make over there, and then they ship it back here, and then they'll give me that vaccine so that the cancer, I'll be vaccinated against the cancer, still going on in my body, which I think is fascinating too.
That is incredibly fascinating. And that's in Greece?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They got the patent on. I guess they're the only lab that does it.
Oh my gosh, golly. That's,
I forget what the letters stand for, but I think the G is Greece. So RGCC. Yeah.
And you found that through the holistic?
Well, I found that through, people told me about it. Susan actually was one of the people that told me about it. And then 2 other of my friends had gone to this Cancer Center for Healing in Irvine, and they told me they both had it. And so hi, a personal vaccine, how cool. Yeah. So I'd heard about it, and then when I went there, they said, we want to do this, this, and this, and the RGCC was one of the things. So.
Yeah, that's I'm so glad, and chances are, we look back in hindsight, we realize why certain people were in our lives at certain times, right?
Yes.
Susan battled breast cancer, I believe it was.
Yep.
Yeah. And so she had a lot of knowledge that she could share. And it's, it all makes sense now in hindsight. You're like going, oh, that's why
I know.
into our lives. And this is why,
Yeah. And, the Gerson therapy, I've heard of that for years. And then just about maybe 3 months ago, I met somebody that worked there. And
really?
So, yeah. And another person who had volunteered there. They have an office in San Diego. And so as soon as I found this out, I was, calling them and saying, I'm thinking about doing Gerson therapy. And they're like, they were all over it, just giving me all kinds of advice and telling me how to do the juicing. And David and I bought a really high powered juicer so that we could juice a lot, because they recommend 13 juicing a day.
Wow.
8-ounce juices. I'm still not quite at that point yet. I think I've done maybe 10 the most, because it's a lot of juice.
Certain juices.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
It's carrot, apple, and I don't know if you can see the palm of my hands, but they're starting to be a little bit orange.
A little orange, yep.
So it's carrot, apple, and then green juice. So you're juicing romaine lettuce, parsley, spring mix, spinach, whatever kind of greens that you can get your hands on, and all organic, by the way. So I do lots of green juices. And then I also added the celery juice. I do 2 of celery juice a day. And I've heard about that through the Truth About Cancer site talks about celery juice. And then there's a guy called the Medical Medium. He talks about celery juice. And so I just did my research on that. And I think if Dr. Gerson had been alive now, he probably would have said, oh yeah, throw in some celery juice. So I'm taking Gerson, but I'm also modifying it. And again, checking inside with my body and with my inner knowing, is this right for me or not? Yeah. And it came up yes. So I got the yes on that. So I've been doing celery. I don't know how long I've been doing it. David, you're on, I think, probably at least 3 or 4 weeks. We've been doing celery juice every day.
Yeah. So do you do this at certain intervals throughout the day, or
like every hour or so you're drinking something different, and then you're having, salads, and you're having, they have this soup. So sometimes I have soup and quinoa. It's all, somewhat raw, but some cooked. And I just find it delicious. And as soon as I got the diagnosis that day, I'm like, I'm not having any more sugar. I'm not having any more processed things. Those are just off the table for me. And, after a couple of days, you really don't even miss the sugar. And you're so right, Susan.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't even miss the
processed foods, which are just filled full of sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and you can put the illusion of different names on it, but it's still just sugar laden with, that's what they put in processed foods, because that makes you crave even more of it. Well,
and apparently cancer loves sugar.
Yeah. It's what it feeds upon. From everything I've ever read, that's what it feeds upon.
Feeds on it, and it also doesn't like alkalinity. So I made sure to make my diet really alkaline. They've got me the little strips, so I'm checking. At first I was kind of obsessive about checking my urine every day and making sure I'm alkaline. Now I just kind of know I am, so I don't have to do the frequent checking of the alkalinity of my body. I just know it is. So I'm doing what I call a multi-pronged approach to this, and I think that's really what it takes.
Yeah. And part of that is going to be David, right? What a support.
David's been amazing.
Your husband is just,
He is.
It makes sense because I've been watching your journey over the last, you're talking about all these you've gone to a lot of different vegan or vegetarian restaurants, and you've been watching, I've been watching all that, just drooling, and going, oh my gosh, I would just love that. Love to be a part of that too. So,
and David's an amazing cook, and he also wrote a book about how to transition to a plant-based diet. And so he's a teacher. He's been a professor for 1,000 years. No, not that long.
1,000 years.
He's the juicing master. He's definitely a teacher. So when we changed our diet to this, I kept saying, David, you need to write a book about this, because he was doing all this research and getting all these recipes. And so I really encouraged him. So it's been out for what, about a year, David, I think? Has it been that long?
Oh, has it been that long?
It has. I don't know.
But that's available on Amazon, isn't it?
It is on Amazon. David Kater with a K.
Yeah.
And it was last year. It was 2017. I'm not sure what month, but it's been an amazing resource for a lot of people, and it really just encourages you to really look at your diet and see what changes you can make toward a more plant-based diet. And our point of view is, if people can change, they don't necessarily have to eat all vegan or all plant-based, but they can change some meals out, switch some meals out and have oatmeal for breakfast instead of eggs and bacon,
Yes, this will be for replay. It's going to be up and running, so you can come back and watch it. I'll also have it uploaded to my YouTube channel. So just look for Dave Stelma. Dave Stelma on YouTube, and you'll find me. It's in there, and then and you might you'll probably pop it up in your Facebook page. I'm sure. Yeah. Gotta catch up here on some comments. Gord wants to know, how important is exercise to recovery?
Really important. You need to sweat. So I've been doing some infrared saunas. I upped my exercise, and the thing about exercise that's so important is you need to move your lymph system. Because if you're just laying around watching TV or whatever, you're not moving the lymph. Oh, look at Gord.
Gord's right on it. There's a link to David's book.
You're amazing. So so exercise. So I've been doing more. At the beginning, after my surgery, I couldn't walk very much. So I'd walk very slowly for like 20 minutes. And my sister Lynette has been amazing at that too. And she's really supported me, and I've supported her in exercising more. So sometimes we go to the lake nearby us and walk around, and I usually have a routine I do in the morning that includes some aerobics, some abs, a little bit of yoga, and I do that pretty much before I do anything, and just it wakes the body up and stretches your spine and kind of gets you going. That's not quite enough, so I need to do more. So I've been doing more walking, and I do have a membership at the Y, so I plan on getting back to that now that I feel more good, because they have water aerobics and Tai Chi and Qigong and all things that I love.
Yeah.
Just gradually getting back into more exercise, but absolutely it's important, Gord.
What do you do for mental wise? To stimulate as far as the brain and that, and to stimulate that aspect, because that's a part of it. I mean, meditation is going to be in there, different things. I mean, what do you, for sure. Do you do any of that, or?
Well, one thing that sometimes creeps in, I have a pretty good positive mental attitude most of the time. I have, I've trained myself over the years to, if a negative thought comes up, I know that that's just an old habit pattern in my mind. And I've pretty much switched a lot of my thinking to be more along the positive side, and not let that negative thinking rule the brain, But sometimes it does pop up, and I get scared, and so what I do with that, usually I talk it out with somebody, a good friend, or my sister, one of my sisters, or David. Like the other morning, I woke up maybe a couple weeks ago. I was just freaked out, and I was just like, my thoughts were racing, and I was like, what if this has gone into my lymph system? What if it's gone everywhere? And what if everything I'm doing isn't working? And just like, it was like kind of like that kind of thinking.
Yeah.
And I started crying, and it's good to cry sometimes, for sure, because this is kind of like an emotional thing. This is my life, So that part of it was good, but the freaking out and the mental stuff. So I just went and found David right away, because he usually gets up before me because he has a lot of energy, and
it's just in the name.
He writes. And
if you have the name David, it's like, that's
that's right. So I went and found him, and I said, listen, can you come rub my back and just, let me talk it out? And that was so helpful too. And just to have a partner like that is amazing. So when I'm going through something, he can kind of talk me down or just remind me he's just like, listen, you're doing this and you're doing this and you're doing this, and look at all the people that love you and you've got a lot of support. And so just to talk it out with people, that really helps too. Yeah.
Gord's got, I think connection with supporting and loving people is important. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Surround yourself with that, just positive people. He also puts in there vibration training machine, which is great for lymphatic drainage.
Just another. They actually have that at the cancer center where I'm going, and that's a free thing that they offer. So
wow,
they're going to show me how to do that next time I go.
At least
I think you stand on it. And no, Gord, your middle name is David. I did not know that. I've always liked David's. One of my first boyfriends was David in the 8th grade. And then I went to the senior prom with a guy named Dave. And, you guys are just amazing.
There you go.
Anyway, so that machine, it kind of like, it just jiggles you so that it makes plus I use a rebounder now too, a little trampoline. It's a mini trampoline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got one of those. And so every morning I bounce on that for 10 or 15 minutes while I'm doing my morning, wake up exercise. And that's really good for the lymph system also.
That's so cool. I love that you're taking such an assertive role, because it usually goes one way or the other, that people either accept the first, oncologist or that you talk to and just go, oh, that's the only way. They're, doctors are gods, and that's the only way. And this is, and then they trudge into that, and they basically start to give up on life because it's not a positive, they're not surrounding you with positive people and positive suggestions and being a fan of yours. They're, and then it goes the opposite route, like you're going, saying, no. 90 is the time.
Yeah.
I'm getting to 90.
93, that's like 30.
93.
I got a lot more fun to have, for one thing. I did want to mention, our buddy Jack Canfield.
Yeah.
Love this book. So one of the things one of the success principles is take 100% responsibility.
Yeah.
That's one of the first ones. So I am 100% responsible for my treatment and what I decide. I'm taking input from other people, medical professionals, other friends. A lot of people have said, oh, you need to do massive doses of vitamin C, or you need to do this, and this, and this. Well, I listen, and then I take it in, and I say, is this right for me or not? And then that way it's my decision. Even at one point early on, I said to David, I said, what if I really decide to do chemo? And I think it was during that weekend, when I was trying to figure it out, I was like, what if I decide to do that, but you really don't want me to? And he said, Donna, listen, this is your life, your body. You're going to make the final decision. I'm going to help you. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to, work as a team. We'll go to appointments together, and we'll figure this thing out together. And he said, but it's your life and your body. You're going to be the final decider. So that just helped me relax inside too. It's like nobody's going to force something on me that I don't want to happen. So, and just along with that, I think our marriage has gotten even better because we are working more as a team, even more as a team. And we were a pretty good team before, but now it's just like we're on this journey together. And frequently we'll look at each other and go, I'm so glad I'm on this journey with you.
Wow. I don't know if anybody else did, but I just got goosebumps.
Oh,
so that's just beautiful. That's just beautiful. Gord is on the house. I personally believe that there's so much power within to heal things. Yeah. Yep. Put fear out. Just kill the fear. He wants to know if you looked into Joe Dispenza's work.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. He was in The Secret, I believe.
Yep. Dr. Joe.
Yeah. He has some good work. And I've been listening to I think you actually gave me a meditation board that I've been listening to. Yes. Great stuff. Because he healed himself.
And Susan, she used Jack's rule of 5. Do 5 things for my health each day to keep from being overwhelmed and move towards good health. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to mention something else. There's a book called The Power of Eight that one of my good friends, Sheila, told me about. And the premise of this book is that if you can get 8 people holding the same thought at the same time for 10 minutes, then there's a lot of power in that. So one of the things I just did is asked people to be on my Power of 8 team. I actually have probably twice that many people now. So every Monday night, Pacific time, and let anybody that's on, if they want to join, let me know. 9 o'clock Pacific time, I have people that are going to be praying for me, holding a vision for me for 10 minutes at least, just me being in vibrant health and, full well-being and cancer-free and just holding that intention for me for 10 minutes. And I asked people if they would do it for me until the end of October. I figure by that point, hopefully I'll be done with all this, but, and then if I'm not done, I could regroup and ask if they want to continue. So I've had lots, quite a few people. I just sent out an email this morning and I've already looked at my phone. I'm like, I've already got like 12, 14 people already.
You got 15 now.
Okay, Susan.
16
Yay.
with me. Let's see, Gord. I won't put any pressure on anyone.
Gord, come on.
Do it if you want to. If you
I just
feel
need
called to it.
just send me your email address, and if you want an email reminder, my friend Cindy is going to do that for me, probably maybe on Sunday and Monday, just reminding people to do it. But some people are just setting an alarm on their phone just to remind them to do it. If you set up that Facebook group, yeah, I'll put it in there.
Do an invite on there at that same time every is it Sunday night you said?
Monday night.
Monday night.
Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I realize that for some of you, Gord, it's going to be midnight, but you just set the intention that at midnight you're going to have a nice dream about me or something. Just dream of me being fully healed. And
it's not that bad. Gord is on Eastern time, so it's okay.
I know.
Yeah, we'll get you all over the globe.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, isn't that great? So, people have been telling me things like that. I'm like, that's a good idea, and that's a good idea, and that's a good idea. And just, again, going back to my inner knowing and checking it out every time. And if I get a happy, excited kind of feeling, then I know I'm on the right track. And if I get that's not for me kind of feeling, then I don't go that way.
Yeah. Well, that's and you got to trust that. Yeah.
And that's been one of the big blessings out of this whole thing is that I started really trusting that inner knowing. And it's my connection with God. It's my connection with my soul. It's my connection with the universe, spirit, whatever you want to, however you want to term it. It's that part of me that knows that everything is going to be all right, and that a lot of good is going to come out of this. And I just hold to that.
Oh, I gotta get caught up on. Oh, Corinne is like, okay, Corinne's in. There we go.
Causeway. Causeway.
Okay. Yeah. There we go. I knew I murdered that name. Kathy. Oh my. Corinne is like are you the leader of is she the leader of the group or? I love it.
Corinne's been my friend forever and ever. In fact, we've traveled together, and one of our other friends who didn't know I was married, she thought Corinne and I were a couple. And then she heard me talking about my husband once, and she said, "Oh, you're married? I thought you were with Corinne."
How does Corinne know about this? Is she okay with this husband thing?
It's so funny. We laugh about it now.
Love it.
Yeah.
Gord says I share special meditations with Donna. Yep, regularly.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
Not the leader. She's abstaining from the leader role. I am not the leader.
She's a leader. She just doesn't admit it.
Yeah.
But she knows people all over the world too. So.
Okay. At least she's laughing with us, Erin.
I know. Yeah, we traveled to Italy together, Japan.
Wow.
Monterey, Dallas, Texas. We've gone all kinds of places together. So yeah. Well, she used to be a travel agent, so she got all these great deals. we got business class to Tokyo.
Knew all the places to
We had to
go.
fly to Dallas to catch the plane that went straight to Narita in Japan.
You had to go east to go west.
We did, because we started in San Diego, and then we went to Dallas, spent the night, and then hopped the plane that went. It was a direct flight all the way from Dallas to Japan. It was a long flight.
Who would think that?
I know, but we did it because they were.
Yeah.
It was a good deal, so it was fun.
That is so cool. So, what are you having any struggles? Tell us.
Well, I guess the main struggle I've been having is that the center I've been going to is very expensive, and Dave and I have kind of tapped out our resources, and we looked at, refinancing our house or taking a second or something. But those things, they take time to happen, So that's why our friends said, let's do a GoFundMe page and let us help you.
Yeah.
So that's been, I think, the struggle the last couple of weeks. I've already been going, and every time it's like $500 or $1,000, and that all starts adding up after a while. It does. And so that has been stressful. But we just started the GoFundMe page this morning, and already people are donating. So that's I feel like the stress is starting to lift off.
And does insurance pay? Have you maxed out on that aspect, or I don't even get me going on insurance? It's just
well, the medical insurance doesn't. There's a possibility we can sell a life insurance policy that I have. Yeah, when you get a diagnosis like this, there are some companies that will buy your life insurance.
Biatical settlements, yep.
Yeah. So that's a possibility. But again, that's weeks down the line. So
yeah,
if we go that route. So that it's just kind of we need the gap insurance. I guess we need the gap.
Yeah. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. Oh, there we go. David's on it. Thank you, David.
I like that. Donna Kater
page. Yeah. There you go. I like that too, because that's what's happening.
Well, we kicked around some different ways of talking about. Oh,
I said it.
I was going to say but
I know, but it just I got passionate for a moment.
Well, and since I write self-help books, we were talking about how about we call it self-help author needs your help or something, but really we wanted it to be a little bit more fun and
you are an awesome writer. That's the other aspect.
Oh.
If you have not bought Donna's books, or if you haven't read any of Donna, just buy one. I mean, you are the way you just articulate things, and it just flows for you. I mean, you are a writer.
Thank you.
And it just flows so easily for you. And that's one of the things that just make you shine. And so we need to keep you around here just for that alone, because I'm sensing that this is going to be a book beyond too. Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the first book I wrote, the printed one, is called I'm Still Alive Now What? How to Survive and Thrive After a Life-Changing Event. So as soon as this happened, I'm like, I need to read my book. Or other people said, I got a great book for you. You read this thing, that thing that happened that changed your life. Here, read this book, So, and the other thing I wanted to say about, thank you, Susan. How I write is I really go to that inner knowing place again and write from there. And of course there's lots of editing, but David's a good editor. So, he really collaborates with me on the actual final wording of things.
Yeah.
And yet the essence of what I want to say really comes from the heart. And I do want to share my process because I think that it's valuable to people. And I say that not from an egotistical point of view, but also from the feedback I've got from people. People read my book and they said, this really helped me so much at this trying time of my life. So,
yeah. Another friend in the house. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just makes you feel good.
It does. It does.
Yeah. No, you do. You almost, I'm going to put words in your mouth, but you go to a place of almost automatic writing, don't you? I mean, it just flows right through you.
It does. And I get in a particular state of mind.
Yeah.
And then I also bow my head, and somehow that kind of disconnects the rational, logical brain, and then just go into my heart. And then I meditate for a while, and then I just start writing. And what helps me is just actually writing it, and then later I go type it in the computer. And then the computer helps me edit it and, make it look pretty and, make all the spelling right and everything. But from that, I wouldn't necessarily call it automatic writing, but it's a source. It comes from a source.
Yeah.
Not a particular entity or anything like that, but I feel like the source is my connection with spirit. And it's like it's what needs to be written through me, and it comes through my personality, and then I have experiences that I write about from my personal history. But it also the basic concepts come from, I think, of the spiritual realm. Yeah,
I would agree. You're right up there with Wayne Dyer. Right?
Well, I don't know about that, but
yeah. Well, I mean, that's how he described all of his writing.
Yeah.
He just become one with his source, and it just flowed through him. And same thing, he hand wrote everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What a cool dude. He actually, I never met the guy, but actually I saw him speak, but I didn't meet him, shake hands kind of meet him, but I was in his presence. And I think he's one of the people that I called out in my first book as being one of my teachers. Yeah, he and Jack Canfield and Ron and Mary Holnick of the University of Santa Monica. Some of my teachers in college, and even I think I talked about Socrates. I mean, there are people, wise ones that have passed on that you can still learn from, that
most definitely
your teachers. Yeah. Plato, Socrates, Jesus, Buddha, I love all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's little bits of all those in you.
Yes. Yeah. And just the concept this concept of like enlightenment that comes from Buddha. It's just like, and then the concept of light, so if you're in a tricky situation, you can just imagine yourself being surrounded with light and filled with light and loving, and just allow that to be your reality. And it gives you a visual thing to focus on too, light versus darkness. Because in this world, there's always going to be light and darkness, but we can be more in the light and bring more light into the world. So, and that's a Jesus thing too. It's just like, I'm the light of the world, so that the concept of light and dark is in a lot of different, religious faiths.
To Buddha, Jesus, it's all, it's the concept is in all of it.
Yeah. And then the heartfelt love, that love that is heart to heart, and we're training with Jack Canfield, we do the hug process, and we hug, and when you hug, your heart goes next to the other person's heart, and there's
left ear to left ear.
There's just a connection that happens that just makes you feel like, I just fall in love with people that I hug, and I'm a big hugger. So if I could hug all of you guys right now.
There you go.
I hug.
Hug the monitor. No. No, that's so true. And the energy that is transferred back and forth throughout that, and it's just you become there's a oneness there.
Yeah, there is, for sure.
Yeah. And you get some of that through meditation, but definitely through the hug process, it's even more intense. It's just more personal that way. Yeah. So David's got to hug you at least 12 times a day.
He probably does.
Does he? Every time you pass the hall.
Hug him because,
Yeah.
Where
is he today? Is he not in the house?
He's in the other room.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, David, you should get in here and just make a little
Oh
appearance
yeah, you want
at
to pop
least.
in, David?
You should pop in here because everyone's talking about you anyway. Now the pressure's on.
I know.
There you go. We'll see if he shows up. He's probably hiding in there. I am not going on.
Or maybe he just left his computer on and went to the bathroom or something.
There you
Who
go.
knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say I'm sorry you're going through this because I think you're going to rise up even stronger from it. But it's tragic that anyone has to even experience this to get to that higher place. But I think you're just going to be stronger from this. What you're going through. We're going to put the link again in the replay. It's like the link is going to be in there and it's going to be in everything. Come on in.
Okay. David, come here.
Come on in. Did he just wave? Is that what he did?
Yeah, he popped his little head in. Wave. Oh, well.
Didn't even see him. Come on. The man of the hour.
I know. Well, probably his hair wasn't combed or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, when you get those 3 hairs that you can comb, you're worried about them. That's me anyway. That's not David. That's me. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, here he comes.
How do I
There you go. You just walk in.
Right here.
Oh, I thought there was a link on the computer.
No, just come on in and say hi.
Hi, David.
Hi, baby.
There you go. There's
He
the
can't
one.
hear you because I have my earbud in.
Susan says life happens.
For you, not to you. Yes.
But how do you do a hard thing? I don't know. I'm not good. I'm not good like the kids. There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the kids do. I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Susan, life happens for you, not to you.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, David's in the house, and I can even throw a comment up that he made. Huh?
Oh, that was before.
I'm just so slow on the comments now. Well, thanks for both of you to come on, and thank you for coming on today and telling your story. And I think it's an important story to tell. I mean, the support that you're going to get is going to be overwhelming, I'm sure, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And we're sorry to say I'm going to spread the news. I already started to. That's what I was like. Give me the link. I need the link. Give me the link.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Because I think it's
so
just
much.
we're gonna be on this journey with you. And hey, when you get that Facebook group up, then just throw us a link, and then I'll add that to it.
I will. I'll probably do that this afternoon or this evening because that's next Sunday.
Well, no pressure.
Okay.
And enjoy life. Right?
I do. And today's our anniversary.
Oh.
349.
349 since the day we met. We usually celebrate on the 29th. So
it's like he really is 1,000 years old. 349
months. So it's been 29 years. Next summer it'll be 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a lot of celebrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we may go out for lunch or dinner or something to celebrate. And
I'll bet you we'll see some pictures of some good food.
Yeah, probably.
We can lift a glass of celery juice together.
Yeah, we'll lift.
That is actually right up my alley. So there you go.
Yeah. Highly recommended.
I get the greens mix from Trader Joe's, so that the juice, it's organic greens.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
It doesn't even look green; it looks brown. So
yeah, I know. Well, we've been into juicing like a full organic watermelon, and that doesn't look red either. It's kind of like a little reddish brown, but it's so good. Yeah.
What kind of
rind,
you guys?
The rind and everything. We have a pure juicer. It's like a Norwalk, only it's expensive, and it actually measures up against the Norwalk. Thank you, Susan.
Susan says happy anniversary.
It measures toe to toe with Norwalk juicer, which is what the Gerson Therapy people recommend.
They made a lot of improvements.
Yeah, lots of improvements, and it's PURE, just like pure. That's what it sounds like. And it was about $2,400, I think. So it was a big investment, but it's just like, right now I'm investing in my life, so it was worth it.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. The Jack LaLanne juicer is not going to work for that. Oh, Gord says happy anniversary too.
Oh, thanks, Gord.
Love it.
You guys are great. Thanks for popping on, everybody. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Uh-oh. Corinne. Oh, I might as well just do these guys. Here we go. Corinne's coming over in 2 weeks. Did you know about this?
No? Okay.
Guess
Come
you
on
better.
over.
Thank you for the warning, Corinne.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll make some celery juice for you.
So you make some plans to leave in 2 weeks to
No.
No, I'm kidding. No. Now I want to do a show with Corinne. She's so lively.
Oh, Corinne's amazing.
We'll have to bring her on or something. We'll
Yeah.
do a show when Corinne's there in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. All right. Well,
All right.
thank you for coming on and tell your story. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. I
Thank
think it's an
you.
important one. So
Look, we did an hour. I had no idea how long it was going to be, but I guess an hour is enough. So, yeah, I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to say. If I
Yeah.
think of something else, I'll let you know.
yeah, and
Yeah.
we can continue the story.
All right. Sounds good. We'll give updates. All right.
There you go.
Onwards and upwards. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Big
Have a great
hugs.
afternoon.
Hug,
Bye,
hug,
everybody.
hug. Bye, everybody.